Al-Qaeda too. Don't put anything past them, because see, people get caught up in the hype. They get caught up in the pageantry of putting the American flags out and getting all angry, and it's all over the news, and it's exciting. We got hit by terrorists. I mean, it's like a little sick event, just like 9/11 and other events were staged. And we will lose our country with this fake terror if we don't wake up to it. Because it isn't just Obama that ships guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment. And it isn't just Clinton that staged Oklahoma City. The evidence is legion. Okay? It's a lot bigger than that. The globalists that control our government are financing and protecting terrorists, just like with NATO running Al-Qaeda right now, publicly, and taking families and threatening to kill their kids if daddy doesn't drive a truck into the police checkpoint full of explosives. And then they get on the news and say, the citizens are so mad they're suicide bombing Assad. Foreigners out of Saudi Arabia, backed by our criminal government, which is an illegitimate criminal enterprise now, are suicide bombing with Al-Qaeda. While saying the Tea Party, the army is being taught, is going to link up with Al-Qaeda. I know this sounds crazy, because it is. The globalists are going into a takeover phase right now, the likes of which I've never seen. So when our guest says DHS is going hot, Obama false flag coming, I'm going to Twitter out that video from last night. It's so important. It's on Infowars.com. We better look out. Now, here's Michael Savage 2 years ago. Love him or hate him, I appreciate the courage here to come out and say this. He said this 5 times I know of, because the clips are on YouTube, that you look out, the White House close to the election, if they get in trouble, will stage a Reichstag false flag. Here it is.
Now I'll make another prediction. I predict that very soon, Obama will create a crisis along the lines of the Reichstag fire. I don't know what form it will take, but I believe that once the minions are seen for what they are, Rahm Emanuel and his gang will set off a Reichstag fire in this country of some kind, and they will recall the military dictatorship of Lincoln and Stanton during the Civil War, when civilian suspects were arrested without warrant. I will tell you as I sit here, I fear that every night as I go to sleep. I put nothing past these agitators who have suddenly seized control of the most powerful economy. And
he goes on to say he thinks ear-gun-trained terrorists are in the White House, and then lists some of the people. That's, of course, was the group that used terrorism to create Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, the issue here is the White House advisors are all saying this. That's why Savage was warning, because when they start openly bragging, basically this broadcast, if I'm proud of anything, forced this out in the open, so made it safer for other people to talk about it. Now, Hagmann's law enforcement source in the federal government, I'll just leave it at that, is saying that they're decided to go hot, that Obama is going to stage a false flag. He's even got names. So we are going to go to break and come back with him and go over this. Stay with us. Coming up on the other side of this break, we're going to be joined by Doug Hagmann of the Northeast Intelligence Network, and his Homeland Security source, federal law enforcement level, said that they've been told something big in late October, early November, probably a false flag. And they said early on it looked like they were trying to start a race war. We know the White House has been caught doing that. That failed, though, with the whole Trayvon Martin thing, as the truth came out. I'm sad they used that poor young man's death to try to get it going. But the article is up at Infowars.com and Prisonplanet.com in the featured news area, DHS source. It's going hot. Obama false flag coming. I believe this can be stopped. And, I've listened to Hagmann for years when he's on syndicated radio shows and TV. I've followed him. What his source is giving him, it fits the MO I have. And I think Hagmann's a good guy. I am not saying that there is going to be a big false flag, but you better know, you better understand that if we don't talk about it and if we don't expose it, the likelihood of it is amplified. I mean, we had that guest on who it turned out was a famous TV presenter, producer. We knew who he was, but it came out in the news that he had infiltrated, gotten a security job at the Olympics, and they were teaching him that there would be a terror attack. And I said at the time, that doesn't mean there's going to be one. They do that to gauge people and hype up fear. But there could have been an event if we hadn't exposed it. I mean, the British government, with an MI6 asset, a SWAT, did stage 7-7. That even came out on Associated Press, Fox News. Former Justice Department official John Loftus went public with that. And that came out in the London Telegraph. But this is always months after something it comes out. So government's got the underwear bomber on the plane, the shoe bomber on the plane. That all came out on C-SPAN and congressional testimony. All of this is very, very real, and all of this is a real threat. And you've got all these White House advisors. I just played you clips of them talking about it. Even on Hardball, a mass shooting will help us connect. A huge terror attack will help the president connect. Oklahoma City got Bill Clinton reelected. We need another one. Don't worry, fundraisers. You know, if it looks like Obama's down, there's going to be an event. We're going to blame it on our enemies. I mean, this is so transparent. We would be insane. I'm going to recap this when we come back. It's so important. We would be insane to not be looking at this. So I'm going to send that 15-minute video out because it's already out there. You're about to hear more, an in-depth interview with Doug Hagman. But I'm going to send that interview out at Real Alex Jones. They're on Twitter. Real Alex Jones, again, is twitter.com/Real Alex Jones. You can also go to Infowars.com and click on the social media link and find our links to our official Facebook, our Twitter, all of it. There at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. But if you're not following us there on Twitter, during this break, I am going to send the link out via my little government tracking device here to everyone because it is so incredibly important. In fact, people show a document cam shot right here. If you're watching on PrisonPlanet.tv, I am going to go to the link. Has it already rolled off the front page? I want to make sure that's put back on the front page, that interview that we did last night. It's already scrolled off into the breaking news link. You want to go to the breaking news link, or the top stories link will also take you there to find that link for everybody. In fact, you go to top stories is probably the best place to find that, and that's where all the featured news that scrolls off goes. But we're going to get that out to everybody. Now, there it is, DHS source. It's going hot. Obama false flag coming. I'm going to take that video and text. I'm going to send it out on my Twitter right now, Real Alex Jones there. You can sign up by going to the icon for Twitter right there and visiting that. The worst drop. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another hour of resistance to tyranny. I am your host, Alex Jones. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, back Sundays, 4 to 6 Central, 5 to 7 Eastern. Also blasting out on XM 166 and over 115 AM and FM stations. I am Alex Jones, coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas, the capital city of Texas, Austin. Now, if you just joined us, earlier I was breaking down and playing clips of Michael Savage, the talk show host, saying he believes Obama will stage a terror attack before the election to stay in power. We played a clip of Glenn Beck that didn't get any national news when he did it, saying Obama will stage terror attacks to get reelected, or his handlers will. That didn't get attention because they don't want to attack him on that. Kind of like they attacked Dave Mustaine at first for saying, hey, they stage Fast and Furious. They could be staging these. When he didn't apologize, they dropped it. Because they don't want to go there. You have 4 different White House advisors sending out letters to fundraisers, but also letters to sponsors, and in the Financial Times of London saying, if we have a terror attack, it can be blamed on our enemies. Now, they don't say they're going to do it. They say, without an Oklahoma City, without a 9/11, Robert Shapiro, I read the quotes last hour if you just joined us, said, we need a terror attack or Obama won't get reelected. If you don't believe me, just type it into a search engine. If you just joined us, I know there's listeners joining us every minute. Just type in. In fact, let's do it on Google in front of everybody. There's my Twitter on screen if you're watching on Prisonplanet.tv. Obama gives stage terror green light. Now, that doesn't mean we can't put the light back on red, but that's what Mr. Hagman's sources are saying. That's what my sources are saying. That's why we're about to get into all of this. So this information is in everyone's face. And all you got to do is type into the NSA search engine, Google, Obama advisors say false flag will get Obama reelected. And you will get not just Infowars.com, you'll get Financial Times of London. You'll get Hardball. I mean, I just put the clip of them on Hardball saying a shooting will help the president reconnect. That was a year ago. They constantly say it. There's so many instances of it. They say this like we're idiots. They say this like we're morons. And then the media every once in a while will attack those of us that point out they're saying it. It's like, hey, here's the elephant sitting on us in the living room. These guys have a pension. They got caught in Fast and Furious staging a false flag. You know, take Larry Pratt. He was on my show right after those shootings happened. He said, Alex, I used to think you were wrong, but they got caught in a false flag of Fast and Furious, so we've got to look at these being staged, and witnesses say multiple shooters in both events. Of course, they're staging it. I mean, they'll stage other events. They've got the motive, the timing, the UN treaty. They're doing it. I'm not up here risking my life for nothing. I want freedom in my time, not just for my children. I was offered 12 years ago and 10 years ago and 8 years ago, big national shows. If I would just cool all this, I could have been the big neocon queen like Glenn Beck. And I'm not attacking Glenn Beck. The point is that, you know, Darth Vader was good as well. I mean, and I think he actually has woke up some. That's why they're trying to push him off the air. The issue here is that there's good still in most of us, and we need to decide which angels we're going to follow, our lesser angels or the angels of God. We've got to decide if we're for good or for evil. There's two different things in this world. There's good and there's bad. And which side do you choose? Well, I choose good. Judge Smells would say good, very good, because, got to throw Caddyshack in there, because, I mean, you're only alive once, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't get up here and say all of this because it's fun. I don't get up here when I get death threats and physically attacked and IRS harassment and all the rest of it because I just want to have fun and scare the daylights out of people. I have to say, so many guests years ago that I thought were too extreme, they've turned out to be right in many cases, which I don't like. I'm not happy we're being proven right. Should I play Glenn Beck, Michael Savage, saying they're going to stage false flags? It's not just me saying it. Or more importantly, should I read the Financial Times of London again to you? Should I play clips of Hardball saying it? My question is, why do they think we're so dumb that they say Oklahoma City got Bill Clinton reelected? Barring that, President Obama will not be reelected. Don't worry, there'll be an event, and we'll blame it on the returning veterans, gun owners, and libertarians and conservatives, but not the mainline conservatives. They're just actually globalist operatives. That's how they control the country, is by controlling the opposition. I mean, when they're doing this, when they're saying this, we have a real issue. Now, Steve Quayle, who co-hosts shows with Doug Hagman, is going to be on with us in the next hour. We'll have Doug run over a little bit because I know Steve may have some questions for him. But Steve Quayle of SteveQuayle.com is coming on. Doug Hagman is coming on right now. He's the founder and director of the Northeast Intelligence Network and CEO of a multi-state licensed private investigative agency serving many Fortune 500 clients, 27-year veteran of conducting investigations in the private sector. He's logged 50,000 hours of covert surveillance in his career and is the author of Tactical Surveillance.